Hello again. Right, for my next demo, I'm going to show you a really quick card. I'm going to be using Sparkle Medium, and you know how much I love my Sparkle Medium. And the two colours I'm going to use are Lapis Blue. Look at that. I just love it. So full of sparkle. And it's a gel. Always remember it's a gel. This is Platinum, which is actually a very, very, very dark silver. This is a limited edition colour. So the clue's in the name, limited numbers for this, but this is a deep silver, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to be using them together. I'm also going to be using Imagination Magi Paint Glaze. Now this is a product that keeps paint open longer, and I'll talk more about that when I'm actually doing the technique for you. And I'm going to be using our beautiful mixed media ink sprays, and this one is the light blue, and I just want to show you the bottom. I think it's easier to see the colours if I show you the bottom. I'm also going to be using my Daisy Flourish border stencil, which again, fabulous stencil because it's a border, so you've actually got space in the middle to put a greeting or a topper or whatever else you might want to put. And I'll be showing you how we're going to be using this in just a moment. So the first thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be mixing paint glaze, and I'm going to be using my mixed media inks. So I'm just going to pop some of my paint glaze onto my mat. I'm going to do it over here, and then I'm going to spritz into it using my mixed media ink sprays. Now if I want a pale colour, I would leave it at one spritz. So what I'll do first of all, I'm going to mix this up and then let's have a look at the colour. If I want to deepen the colour, I just add a little more ink. So this is very much within your control. I want a little more of the paint glaze, so I'm going to add another blob of glaze and another spritz of ink. This is a completely different way of using spritzers, and probably not one that you've ever seen before. Lisa and I are always trying to come up with something different. We know how you love to see brand new different techniques, and this is certainly one of those. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a piece of background card, and I'm stroking the paint glaze with a nice wide brush that we also do across the card. So I want colour and texture in the background of this. And you know what? As I do this, I want a bit more colour. So all I do is spritz onto my mat, again, rub my brush through it and add a little bit more colour to this. And it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter which way you brush this on. Now, I'm going to, before I actually use this, I'm going to show you, I'm going to hold this up to the camera and I'm going to show you how the glaze looks, because it really is, hope you can see that. I've got a darker colour here, but that doesn't matter to what I'm going to do. Again, this is just me showing you how you can intensify the colour. Again, that's what I wanted. I wanted areas of darker colour going through it, and I quite like it if it's just got these lovely little bits here and there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get a piece of bubble wrap. So this is ordinary bubble wrap, and I'm going to press it into the paint glaze. This is to make my background piece. Now, put a bit of weight on this, and I've used larger bubbles rather than smaller, but whatever bubble wrap you've got to hand, because I want texture for this, a nice piece of background texture. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we've got. Oh yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, I'm going to pop that to one side, and I'm going to show you how we've got different areas, and I hope the camera will pick up the areas where you can see my bubble wrap goes into this. Now, as it dries, it will intensify. And I hope you can see on the dry piece there. You can really see the background and you can see where the bubbles have pressed into the paint glaze. So I'm just going to pop this down. I'm just going to have a quick clean up. And then I'm going to pop a stencil over the top. And we're going to start adding some sparkle medium. So this is my dry piece. And I'm going to use my Daisy Flourish border stencil. I'm going to tape it down. Now, Imagination Crafts stencil tape. This is the roll. You get double what you would normally get on any roll of stencil tape, but it's pressure sensitive tape. So even though we work on a non-stick mat, this tape will always stay down. If you want very light pressure, you would just put it down really lightly and you can see there. If you want more pressure, then you would just pop your tape down and add a little more pressure to it so it really holds your stencil down. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use my lapis blue and my platinum, and I'm going to mix the colours together. So I'm just going to go over with my lapis. Now, because I'm mixing colours here, I'm not being too careful where I spread. But what I am going to do is just, I want to avoid the middle of the stencil. Now I could have masked this off, but I just feel that I can manage without. If you're a bit nervous at home and think, oh, I don't know, just put a post-it note in the middle or draw around with a pencil. So just trace round onto a post-it note or onto some double-sided sticky masket, and that will give you a perfect mask to cover up the middle of your stencil. So I'm mixing the colours here, and a thing about sparkle medium, the colour you put on last is the colour you will see. So by that I mean, if I put some platinum here, when I lift my stencil off, I'm going to see the platinum. Because I want to balance it a little, I'm just going to add a little bit of my lapis just in this area. So the lapis is what we're going to see. I hope that makes sense to everybody. The colour you put on last is the colour you see. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we've got. And always have a spare empty pot of colour so that when you've finished you can scrape your stencil clean with your sparkle medium and your beautiful mix pot. The bit that's left on your knife can go into your mix pot, and that gives you a fabulous beautiful mix pot of colour. So removing my tape, I have to say I'm a bit mean with my tape. My tape's reusable, so I do tend to save it, all my little bits, and use them time and time again. Always leave a little bit at the top. I can actually see here I've missed a little bit, so I'm just going to go back into my platinum colour and I'm just going to fill in my stencil. Now if I'd lifted this up, because I've left a piece of tape at the top like a hinge, I'd have spotted that when I lifted it up, and I'd be able to put my stencil back down in exactly the right position, and I'd be able to add more sparkle medium. So I'm just going to have a quick look to see what I've got. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got my sparkle medium on my textured background, and for my finished card I've just added a butterfly and some flowers, and you could add die cut flowers, you can add whatever you like. So I hope you see that. What a quick easy technique and how effective that looks. And can you see the sparkle of that gorgeous sparkle medium there?